Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video, like the fourth goddamn video I've recorded today, so please excuse me if I get a little quiet. I can feel my voice starting to give out. But we've had a lot of information to go over from this new meta, but it is time to finally showcase the new Rimuru, our first technically one of three of the first EX battle units, but the first of like a meta EX battle unit. So we do have him at 104 because we did buy his dupe from the Black Crystal shop. He uses a greatsword, he is a physical unit, he is an EX attack growth type, and he is on the Font of Wisdom, Commander, and Octagram forces. So he has a few. We'll wait and see whenever they buff Commander or Octagram, though. I'm assuming that when we get Octagram Rimuru, he will buff the Octagram Bazaar and just the Octagram units. Hopefully, right, you'd think? But let's check out what he does. So his ult, 300% normal damage. Thankfully, because he's an EX unit, you can get him to 100 immediately, and that unlocks his full ult damage potential, at least for this. And then also lowers enemies' defense by 5% for 2 turns. And then you have the EX ult, where you can use 2 bars of ults to get 600% ult damage. So very, very good if you can use it. And if not, then, I mean, still 300% AoE is still pretty good. Still pretty good. His first skill increases all allies' physical attack by 65% for 1 turn. He is the very first unit to buff physical attack. We've had a whole bunch of magic attack, a whole bunch of type attack, but this is our first physical attacker, so he can work as a support, which we will cover in a separate video of him being a mainline support unit. And he also lowers physical attack resistance by 20%, which just, helps you do extra damage on top of that. Second skill is an orb change, which is great, because I like orb changers. 2 orange, 2 blue, increases gauge increase by 10%. His Valor trait seals magic skills when you swap them in, so no orb changing and no rewind for the enemy in Valor. And then his actual trait, when you send 6 blues, you get 4% crit damage, which is pretty useless because you're not meant to crit on this team. The beatdown battle that we have for this meta has like 50% crit resistance, so critting is bad. So I don't know why they gave him this trait. It's probably like one of the biggest negatives about this unit. And then you can do it, 6% crit damage if you level him up to 112, I think is where you get the new second parts of the traits for EX units. Once you get them to 120, you get an extra 20% ult damage, though, so that will cap out at, if you do an EX ult, at 640% damage, which is insane for an AoE unit. But again, 1, you gotta get into 120, 2, you gotta get a double ult, so I mean, there are caveats to that. His EX ability, he gets extra pierce power with Gobta. I haven't used him with the new Gobta yet, to be perfectly honest, he's not done. But his EX board actually surprised me, because when I added him to a team, I was like, these stats look a little weird. So he increases other troops' following status in accordance with the number of physical characters to battle slots. Not water characters, physical characters. So he will buff the entire team's HP, attack, and defense based on physical units, which, if you're using a whole bunch of physical units, you're going to look really good, like fire or light. But the team we're using him on, at least to start out today, is not physical based, so it's kind of unfortunate. But let's go in and start. We're going to first go into one of the lower difficulty beatdown battles that we have for this. We're not going to do Inferno with him because I don't want to bash my head against a wall. But then we'll take him into a few other places as well. Alright, so we're going to go into EX3 of the beatdown battle, so not Inferno, but EX3, which I think is a good testing ground where we probably won't die, but we can still show off, what he can do in a good scenario. This is the team that I've been running for beatdown battle. We've got Diablo, the 104, he's got a water attack charm on, and then my 100 water Milim, because she's buffing water. We've got Trainee for her start of turn, or for 3-turn protection trait. Also, the special conversion orb change, which the stage is built for. If you don't have Trainee, you can use the free-to-play Frey, or the free-to-play Sokka from Light Meta. But also, she actually serves a very good purpose of rushing Rimuru's ult and getting him a double ult, because Trainee's second skill, or technically first skill, is increases wind attack, whatever, we don't have a wind unit, but also increases 34%, which actually we can go up more, so we're going to do that right now, to 35%. 35% ult for the character with the highest attack on the team, which is going to be Rimuru, because he has like 10.5k, right? So that's going to help us get Rimuru's EX ult, because, you know, we can get it, but then if we're using that every turn, we can really get it a lot faster. So, like, yeah, 10.5k. These two icons glowing signifies that he is falling underneath Diablo's category leader skill for the attack and defense. So it's a nice little thing to note that it lets you know that you're getting, you know, the 20% buff from Diablo. Xion is here to give us the water attack buff, also because she gives protection gauge on turn 2 and turn 4, which combined with Trainee will actually, she just gets it by herself, but will get us a double protector for turn 2. Shuna's here for the ult damage, the orb changing, and the water resistance down, so she's doing triple duty here. We don't want to use Xion's second skill. It's guaranteed crit and 10% magic damage, but you don't want to crit this stage. He has 50% crit resistance. And then Water Rimuru for the other side of orb changing. So, I mean, Rimuru himself has orange changing, Shuna has orange changing, you have orb changing, you have orb changing. This is a very support-heavy team, while also having 4 out of 5 units be orb changers. So it runs fairly effectively. So let's go ahead and jump on in. Alright, into Beatdown Battle we go. Turn 1 is built for, like I said, the special conversion into blues, one reason we bought Trainee. And then we're going to swap her out for Rimuru, because with this 6-handed blue and this amount of protection gauge, and then Xion's protection trait on turn 2, we will get a double stack of Diablo. So let's go and see the damage, because we have the 20% stats from Diablo, and also we have the permanent 60% damage dealt because we are fighting a water unit. So that's what this middle icon means. So let's see the funny damage that these two do, and then the stupid damage that Rimuru does. Also, this Rimuru has a minus 50% to physical resistance, and this Rimuru is obviously physical. He does a lot of damage, right? We do 1,000, 700, 6,000 damage, and then the 200% orb should do about 11, 12 and a half, even better. Perfect. All right. So turn 1, he does seal your attack skills and lower the attack of someone. This is an unfortunate hand right here, because we can steal these Xions, but that's still going to leave us with 2 green. Actually, no, hold on. That should work. Never mind. I lied. Let's do that. So let's do this. Let's steal those. And then that should leave us these 2 greens. All right, that works out much better. Okay, so we're actually going to run it like this. We're going to take you out, and then we're going to use the double stack of Diablo here, and we're going to try and push for a double Rimuru ult for his 200% or his 600% ult, because, you know, he's an AoE unit, but he can do stupid things with it. Pop, 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 pop. Technically, Trainee has type advantage here, technically, but she still does crappy damage. Yeah, look at that, 100 damage, because she's magic, and she's fairly weak. So 1,200 damage with the Pierce. Alright. So nerfing the oranges now is pretty unfortunate, but at this point we have a lot of points to play with. We have another stack of Diablo. Thankfully, Diablo, it doesn't matter who's on the front line, unless you have a charm going for him. But let's go ahead and use Trainee's buff. So the wind attack plus the 35% ult gauge onto Rimuru, because he has obviously the highest attack on this team. And then what can we do here? We can, I think, bring in Rimuru, and let's see. Let's go ahead and use Shuna's orb change first. And then we can use Rimuru's orb change. And then we'll bring this Rimuru in for, let's say, Shuna. And then we can steal. So this turn coming up, he's going to seal the attack skill of Trainee, which I don't really want that because I want to continue to try and push his ult. So we're going to bring Xion in instead, who is still technically already sealed, so she's just going to remain sealed. But with this, even if we get kind of bad orb RNG, we can still continue to at least push for a Rimuru ult on this team without having to have any of his orbs, because unfortunately we're getting 1 orb, 2 orbs here and there. It's not great. This is a lot better. We got 3 orbs for him, so this is good. The attack seal will go away, this attack nerf will go away. I want to make sure that Xion is off this turn right here, because, well, it's here, but so she loses that seal, because we do want to make sure that we can buff with her water attack. So let's get another stack of Diablo on. We're holding on to Rimuru's physical buff and debuff for obviously the nuke turn, but it's not really going to help anybody else on this team because no one else on this team is physical, which is unfortunate. So we're going to wait and see what the next unit is in this meta and see who gets replaced on this. It's probably going to be Xion. Is the most easily replaceable unit. She's literally only here for half of her skill set, because we can't crit. We cannot crit. So let's see. Let's do a steal again, and then we can do an orange change here, and then we'll get Water Rimuru out for Trainee, because we want to make sure, like we just got done saying, leave Xion in so we can lose that attack seal right there. We can use her convert. Why didn't that work? Hold on. I missed something there. Alright, well, whatever. We can still push fairly well. Did I looked at something wrong. Alright, 14-3 right there. So now we have a Rimuru ult, but I want a double ult. I want the double ult. So we're going to, again, use Trainee's skill to push that up another 35%. Again, unfortunate because we only have 1 orb for him. So we're going to have to do some funny things here. We're going to have to take Xion off of this turn, because otherwise next turn she's going to get sealed again, and I don't want that. I might actually take... No, I think I'll leave Rimuru here. But the orb changing is a problem. So let's bring in Rimuru for Xion, and then we can use his green, and then we can use Shuna's orange, and that'll get us quite a bit. Alright, and then we'll just send these 5, because obviously, like, I want to leave him up front and get this orb. Technically, we could have taken him off, and the next turn we could have used the ult buff, or the ult gauge buff again. We could have played it like that. But here, we have to take him out, because on this turn, when my turn ends, he's going to seal our attack skills, and we do not want that, because I want his attack buff. So we're going to have to use this, give him the double ult. Now, please take note that even though we gave him a 200% double gauge ult, his orb did not change. He has to start the turn at 200%, or have a way, because before you can even do anything, it has to be 200%. Otherwise, you're not going to get the EX ult. So if I were to use him with Ramiris, her buff happens at the end of the enemy's turn, but before our turn starts. So if that was the case, it would apply. But here, because we added it after the fact, it did not. But now he has a double ult, so good. We can leave him, we can take him out of here, and then the units up front don't have any attack skills that I mind getting sealed, because this is a magic buff. We have an attack buff here that we need, and we have an attack buff here that we need. So after this, we will be ready to go. So let's just make sure that we can use some orbs here, so we can steal. We have actually all of our orb changers up front, so this works out pretty well. These greens, though, is a problem. Greens are a problem. Do I even worry about it? We have enough to nuke. So you know what? I'm not even gonna bother. We're just gonna send these. It's unfortunate that we won't have another stack of Diablo, but it is what it is. I just want to see his damage on this turn. We've gotten how many stacks now? Quite a few. What are we looking at for the alt debuff? 90%. That's pretty standard of where I would normally sit. All right, so let's bring you in now for Water Rimuru, and then let's get Trainee out of here for Shion. And then we have a whole hand of nerfed oranges, but whatever. So let's use the water attack buff, the alt, and the water resistance down, and then the physical attack and physical resistance down. So now you can see that we've started a new turn. We brought him in. It is now the EX orb right here. It's got a special aura. It's got an extra background to it. It's got the extra little star that's lit up. So this is a 600% normal damage orb while also lowering defense. This should be fun, right? This should be a great attempt right here. So let's go ahead and send that, and then we'll send all this follow-up. I promise you we ain't going to need it, though. So Rimuru, 382,000 damage. It's pretty good. It's pretty good for an AoE, right? Gotta remember, it's an AoE. So if there were 3 enemies here, we could have done over 1 million, technically, between all 3 of them. With 1 unit. With 1 unit. Right? And I'm assuming we're going to get some unit that can support him even more next week, and it's going to just look even crazier. So, that's how he works. We could have sent the 300% alt, the normal alt, earlier, but we wouldn't have guaranteed a kill. That was his maximum power on this specific team that I'm running that I found to be most effective. But let's move on to not beatdown battle into the normal parts of the game, and we'll see how well he does there. Alright, we're going to take the same team, but this time we're going to go into EX3 of the old Wind Tempered Edge against Diablo and Geld. And they are water units, which means that we will again benefit from Diablo buffing us for our stats and that extra 60%. And this is technically an AoE stage because there's 2 enemies, so maybe we can make him look pretty good. It all kind of depends on how our orbs look turn 1. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, turn 1, we got a funny hand, but we do have another trainee orb coming in, so which means we can just send this one Shion right here, and then not worry about it. We can bring in Water Rimuru next turn to change all of those to blue, and then we can bring in the other Water Rimuru, and then, get a full hand of him. So that's good. That works out fairly well. Go ahead and steal these, not Shuna's orb change. Alright, and then we're going to bring you. We're going to send this on Diablo. That gets us, that's going to get us, actually, no it's not, because we don't have trainee up front anymore. That is unfortunate. Okay, but we did decent damage there. Wow. They do a lot of damage. I forgot that they do so much damage. This is EX3 though, we're not playing around. And this stage was considered fairly difficult. So we can change all of those, and then we need a green. But we don't have enough points to do... Oh, wait, hold on. No, yes we do. We have trainee. We have trainee. Let's get you out of here. We have no orbs for Rimuru, so that's cool. Let's just get him out then. We'll get him out for Rimuru. That's fine. And then we'll use those. And that should be at the full hand of blues, so that works out. Pop, 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 pop. That gets us a double gauge right there. 114 points to play with next turn. Hopefully we can bring our actual Rimuru in for a unit that has quite a few orbs. Oh, crit there. That's nice. Okay. Oh, wow. They really hate Shuna. But Shuna also has the most orbs, so that works out. So let's do double stack. Am I doing Rimuru justice in this showcase? I don't actually know. We're making him do good things. He did really, really good damage in the first segment. He's probably going to do good damage here. We can maybe wipe. Maybe wipe here. I don't actually know. So we're going to have to use Trainee's orb change and then Rimuru's orb change again. But that does also give us enough points to use the alt. Well, actually, do we even need it? I don't even think we need it. We don't need it. What's our cap at? 190? Ooh, I mean, we would need, we can do 2 buffs and then the physical buff, and we can probably kill here. So actually, let's send all this on Geld and see if we can't lower him down a bit, and then wipe next turn with triple buffs going. I think we can. I think we have the power to do so. And then this is good because they're going to ult next turn. Holy crap. Diablo hits somebody 4 times. It's like Space Mill all over again, giving me flashbacks. Alright, let's do another debuff here. So that's 4 stacks down now. But then let's bring in Shuna for Rimuru. And we'll bring in Shion for Trainee. And then we'll use the physical buff. We'll use the ult buff. And then... do you have crit resistance at all? I don't actually know. Water attack defense, physical resistance, crit rate, pierce resistance. I have pierce resistance by 40%. Okay. So I think we'll actually use the crit and magic attack. No, we didn't use that one against the beatdown battle, so let's use it here. And let's see how much our normal 300% ult does, while having, you know, a good amount of buffs, and then the 4 stacks down on these guys with the water resistance and physical resistance. That's negating what they have, because they do have 20% here, but then we are lowering it by 20, so we're canceling it. So can we wipe? I don't actually know. Let's send it on you, though. How much do you do? 150k, not quite enough to kill anybody, really. Would we have killed if we had used the water buff? Ooh, because Rimuru's gonna die here. Yep. Not enough to kill. Interesting. Let's come back and see with the water buff if that would have wiped. Alright, we're back. We had a much, much, much better run here. So we have 190 points, we have another 2 stacks of Diablo, so that's technically going to be 5 stacks right here. But this time, instead of using the crit and magic, we're going to use just the straight up water buff and see, you know, if that does the trick. So, let's get you in for all these Rimuru orbs, let's get you in for Trainee, and then we will... Do we keep it like the same as last time and only use this 1 stack here and intentionally nerf ourselves? Sure, why not? Alright, let's do that. Physical attack and then the water buff. And we'll see if this actually has enough guts to kill both these guys. Diablo has 191k and Geld has 142k. Alright, so let's go ahead and send Rimuru and then the follow-up, and we'll see how this goes. How much do we do here? 157, so it is enough to kill Geld, and then the follow-up is enough to kill. So maybe if we had used the extra stack of Diablo, maybe that would have killed. If I had played it like I should have, I could have actually used the water buff and then sent Rimuru away, and then we could have come back and we could have had all the buffs active, and that definitely would have nuked out. But this worked out fairly well. This isn't a set hand start of turn either, so we just had to run with the RNG. And it can be a bitch sometimes, and it can also work in your favor, which here it pretty much worked in our favor. But this is him on the Diablo team against a water unit in like his most perfect setting. Let's take him off of that team away from water units, and we'll see what his performance actually looks like. And that'll probably be the last part of the video, because this is already going to be like half an hour long or something. Alright, for the last part of this video, we're going to take Rimuru off the Diablo team. We're going to put him with the standard water team, watermill him. We've got Raphael here for the pierce and stun and the ult resistance down that, you know, we would normally have from Diablo, but then, you know, Shion, Shuna, and Water Rimuru obviously have been with him the entire time. But we are no longer going to get the 20% attack and defense for being on the Font of Wisdom category. We're no longer going to get that extra 60% damage buff because we're fighting a water unit. We're actually fighting a fire unit now. So we still have type advantage, but we're going to be missing quite a bit of stats. Because Milim is water, Reamer is water, but he is not magic damage. So let's see if we can get a double ult for him here get us 600% with, you know, this and that and that, and whatever stacks of milling we can get. Let's see how this goes. I actually haven't tried this yet, so it'll be interesting. I need 40 stamina, huh? Funny. Very funny. Alright, so let's try it out. Alright, well, we had to make a small change to the team lineup because I didn't realize that this Shuna also has pierce resistance, which means that using Raphael maybe not the best option. Also, I need to remember when she starts nerfing our attack. I think it's turn 3, I think. So let's go ahead and send these 2 Shions right here. Maybe have a couple more Rimurus come in, and then we can do a full orb change with the water Rimuru in the back. So we have replaced Raphael with Space Rimuru, buffing our straight-up attack stat. So the water Rimuru in the back will have physical attack. This Rimuru will give us just normal attack, and then ult, and then the water buff, and then the water buff here. So in theory, this should work fairly well also. Alright, yeah, that worked out pretty well. Okie dokie, so let's do... Oh, but we're going to get attack seal here, aren't we? We are... No, it's on turn... Wait. We're just going to run it. Alright, whatever. This is too good of an opportunity to pass up. So, steal those, full hand, bring you in, and we'll send this. Hopefully we don't get sealed, but I think we do get sealed for 5 turns. And let's find out, I guess. The greens are nerfed. Alright, counterattack. And another counterattack. Oh, no, we can keep it out of here. Alright, cool. So, I thought it was going into turn 3. It is the end of turn 3 when she does that. That's good. Alright, so we can get you out. Let's go ahead and just send these 2 Shions right here. And maybe we'll have another Rimuru coming in. So yeah, I think this will work out. 69. Nice. We'll get some extra points from Shion being up front as well. Yeah, alright. So we can steal again and then use the orb change. So let's go ahead and bring you back for Space Rimuru. Steal those. And then get you out of here. And then we can use his own orb change here. Cool beans. Go ahead and get this stack in here. So now we've stacked twice. Now we are no longer attack sealed. The first time I did this, we were attack sealed because we left him in last turn. So it's kind of unfortunate. Alright. So now we'll be free to, swap him in and out. I do need, a double ult with him, though. So we do kind of have to leave him in, though. It's just that our attack won't be quite as nerfed. So, do we actually do that? Or do I just bring him in when we have a good hand? Because we don't have trainee here anymore to give us just that extra 35% ult willy-nilly. I don't know. I don't actually know if we can. Huh. I think we just have to play it. I think we have to play it as we stand. Not that. Alright, so pop, 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 pop. Maybe if we get like a good hand of like oranges for him, then we'll just use that and get a double ult. Like that. Just like that, actually. So this will be turn 6. We have to nuke on turn 8. That's when she loses her defense. So this should get us fairly close to an ult for him. Just these 3 right here. Pop, pop, pop. If we don't do the green, if we actually change that green, we could probably look a little bit better as well. There we go. So let's do that. Yeah, that gets us a lot closer. So now we just need a few more orbs for him, and then we'll be good. Will that cut it? I actually don't know if that'll cut it. It does not cut it. Ah, crap. Well, can we survive an extra turn, I guess is the next question. Because, yeah, now she starts buffing herself by, by a lot. Ah, ouch. Let's get another stack of water attack on. We need to keep him up front. He needs to have one more orb. This orange right here will do it. We have enough points to do everything, right? Because we have 260. We need 265, I think. Alright. Ooh. Let's get you out of here. Alright. So we're going to steel. We're going to orange, we're going to green. And as long as Rimuru doesn't die here, we'll be set. As long as he doesn't die here. Oh, please don't die. Don't do it. Oh god, don't do it. Oh. Alright, so what did she gain? She gained a whole bunch of attack buffs now. Yeah, okay, so we're ready to go. Alright, this will be the last part of the video of him attempting to nuke down Shuna with a 200% ult. So let's go ahead and use his buff. We'll use the ult buff. I'm fairly certain we can kill. How much health does she have, by the way? 201. I think we can. I think we can do that. Let's get you out of here. Let's use your attack buff. And then we'll get you in here for the extra water buff. Not the crit, though. Alright. So now Rimuru has 70% ult. He has physical attack 65, 40% attack, 50% water attack from the charm. We got the water resistance down and physical resistance down. So can we wipe here with his ult 600%? 333k. I will take that. I will definitely take that. Okay, so he can be a DPS unit if you're in a long fight, if you can get a double ult. If you can't get a double ult, then he's fairly serviceable, but maybe better as a support unit. But we'll use him as a dedicated support in the next video I do for him. I'm going to put him with like the fire team with Violet, the light team with Light Xion. We're going to try those out with his 65% physical attack buff, and we'll see if he is better as a support or can still, maybe he should still be mainline DPS. But let me know what you guys think. Maybe it was kind of a rough scenario, rough showcase. I feel like it was pretty rough, but let me know what you guys think on Rimuru. But that's it for me, guys. Take it easy, and I'll see you later.